So today's video, this is our section we left with last time. It was wet, it was hosed down, and it was going to get nice and hard. If you notice, when I step on it, there's no footprints of any dip because it is actually nice and hard. So we're gonna take that section, we're gonna put this section of track, and just by chance, I just got my connectors. So that section is going to be the first section. It actually gets permanently connected from section to section with the couplings, connectors, however you want to call it. Yes, there's my video camera. This is on my phone right now, not on the video camera yet. Track, so on and so forth. So let's get started with making a curve out of these pieces. I just found out the audio I did on the whole beginning of this video was not there. So there's going to be a fast forward on doing things on now you have the video and the audio. So our goal is to put this track down. I cut bricks in half, that way I don't have to use a full brick. As you can see, it comes around right here and has a half brick, which works for that track. I cut my beams, and now I'm going to be putting in my couplings. The couplings I got, I believe, came from either Germany or United Kingdom. I think it was United Kingdom. They're nice little couplings. A piece of metal with a groove in it, so the track goes right in that groove. And then you have 4 screws. The most annoying thing is the screws don't come in the couplings. You have to sit here with a bunch of screws and a bunch of couplings and put them all together. There's been more annoying things, but that's the annoying thing for right now. So let's get started. And I will get started by putting the couplings in. Hint here is you have to tighten them both somewhat. Otherwise, when you tighten one all the way, the track comes out of the other side. So you got to put the track in the groove and tighten them both up a little bit. That way the track stays in the groove when you tighten it the rest of the way. Okay, so we're back. I'm going to finish putting this in. Tighten this down. Before I tighten that down, I'm going to put a couple bricks so it's straight when it tightens down. I am going to start going up a little bit, but it's not going to be on my curve that I go up. Okay. I'm leaving this open because this is going to be a little creek that goes through there. Okay. Interesting. Yes, I'm cheating a little bit. I'm moving inside to my control room because my control room has air conditioning. And with the control room having air conditioning, obviously it makes it a lot easier to do things that are tedious instead of sitting. I don't have to be there to do this. So I'm just putting on my ends on my switch, the third switch of the list from the big curve. After I get the third switch in and hooked up, we got a long piece of track that connects the other two curves together. I will then do the last straightaway from one curve to the other, and that is actually a straight piece of track with a couple curves in it, just because of when you're putting three of these together, it becomes a little tricky, because when you look, you can see it's not a direct V. So it's not like you're V'ing three together and they're going to be equal. One's always straight, one's always curved, and when you get to the other side, that one's curved and this one's straight. So it's not as simple as just hooking everything up. You have to, and then you have, in my case, I'm using USA train track for the actual track, and I'm using LGB for the switchers. This is the part that's tedious. Putting all the screws and starting them into the clamp plate. I'm pretty sure these came from UK. I think I said that before. I love these things. They're machine made. Obviously he makes a big long strip and he cuts off the same and drills the hole and taps them, and very good done. They are not cheap, but I highly recommend these. Compared to the other ones that are like a C-clamp, these are much easier to use, and I think in the long run they end up lasting much better. So yeah, I'm doing my switch. When the switch gets done, we'll move back outside. So, another little story. When I set up my first train track, board, actually no, it'd been my third board. There's a story of how I got started in trains and how I ended up doing this and buying this house. That's another video. But when I got started, when I set up the train, my son was born. He was still a toddler, less than a year old. And he grew, basically when I'm working on the train, in the garage with the air on, I had an air unit in the garage, he would be in the swing and relaxing and fall asleep. So when he got older, the train moved out of the garage because we became a 2 new car family and we wanted to park the cars in the garage. Can't remember exactly. Or I wanted to park my jet ski I was working on in the garage. Either way, I needed to have garage space. So it got moved, believe it or not, into the dining room. So at that point, we did not have a dining room table that was worth a damn. So we moved the train into the dining room. One of the reasons we did that is because Joseph liked it so much. And he would constantly come to me and tell me to put the train on. And then his mom would come to me and tell me to turn the train off. And he would come to me and tell me to turn the train on. So you can see how this becomes a battle. Not a hard battle, but just a battle back and forth, and if the train's going to run or not. So my solution to this was I set up the train. I put engines on it. You could run 4 engines at once. So I put little cars that worked really well, engines on it that were proven so it could run. And I got a remote, a big green remote, and wrote train on it. So my son, being between 2 and 3, learned to walk over to the train and take his remote, which is on a little string, and turn the train on. Then what is now my ex-wife would walk over to the train and turn the train off. So it became a friendly battle, but it was a friendly battle that I was no longer involved in. It was all up to them. Until something happened, and then the train got turned off because of a crash, and of course I was involved because my son wanted me to fix it. But yeah, that's a little story of, this is in 2004, 2005, before we went, hey, iPhone crazy and remote crazy and Bluetooth crazy, and having a remote on the train was actually really cool. Okay, so we're back outside. I have that piece of track done. It's ready to go. I have my other connectors. There's this piece of track. Okay, here we go. Seems to be something missing. I think I know what happened. When I was moving it from the garage to the yard, as in outside on the blacktop, I think I got turned around, and this goes on the other side, not this side. So let's condense this down, and that should change our angle quite a bit, making it come closer to where it needs to be. Let's take this off and move this in. Just like this. I like that better anyway, because it gives me all new crack on my inside curve and all new track on the inside curve. I like that. Let's try an 11. So I got one of those little programs. In the program you put all the track in, and it tells you exactly what pieces of track. And there is no set that I found that this works. That's why it's 100% gonna have to cut something, cut pieces, cut something, because it does not have a set, which I found kind of incredible, that to do a three-way curve, I guess that's not something that's done, because it doesn't have a platform where that fits together. End up having to use little tiny pieces here and there to get it to work. Here comes the real train. Look at that. So now we're working over here. Getting those two pieces to connect. Like I said, they don't make this so it works. They make this so it doesn't work. In the worst cases here, this track is the track that I'm trying to keep on the 600 curve, or the 1600. This is a railway express agency track. Interesting. So I'm feeling this one section here is going to be very interesting. So am I really going to do this? Only time this track is going to be done, is going to be moved on, is when you're coming back from the loop and you're going to loop in. So I'll have to put some fake mountains there so it makes sense. That seems to work. So we're going to run with it. Let me start this end. So I have two good loops. This is the normal loop, normal track. 2 pieces to make a quarter. This side, if I do 2 pieces to make the quarter, ends up way the hell over there. So I do a 11-inch, then do 2 pieces to make a quarter. This side, to get it to match up, I'm actually doing 2 600 radius, one to the left, one to the right, and then a piece, maybe 10 inches, and it actually matches up the straight. So we're going to start this end and connect it. See if I still get to, because this is all connected with clamps. I don't have to worry about it moving. It is what it is. I'm going to start connecting this side and see when I get to that end, if it still lines up straight, then I'll cut a piece of straight pipe, a straight track. Then all I got to do is put my bricks, pour sand in the middle, let it ooze out and fill the gaps, and the curve will be done. Okay, so there's the curve. That's how the curve is done. Straight, little curve, zigzag to the curve at that end, back over, extra piece at this end, and this is just straight piece. Every piece is tight, every piece is straight. And now I just have to do the bricks underneath it. So I put a clamp on everything. Everything's clamped together. Only problem with that is a clamp causes it to be a connection. The problem is I'm going to have the train coming down this way. Going here, no problem. Everything's good. Train's coming down this way, tees off, goes there, goes up, makes a loop, comes back. When it comes back, that track reverses. So this track can be hooked to there, but this track can no longer be hooked to here or here. Right there I need a connection to separate it. And over here, the track is reversing, I need a connection here. So these two places I need to put an isolator in so they cannot be connected. Okay, so now everything is level. Everything is where it belongs. And the last step is to do what I call ground it. So you go around to all your switches. Tape them up. So nothing gets in them. You should actually tape them up anyway because they're sitting outside. They're not officially covered yet because I'm not done. Okay. So now, since I got these rocks, or where they would belong, I need to fill the gap in. The gap being between the rocks. Otherwise they're going to want to move. And I got to fill under the rocks. Otherwise they're going to want to move. It's on low RPM, so hopefully you can still hear me. So what I'm going to do is get a load of dirt, which is that clay dirt. As you already know, hard dries hard. And I'm going to dump that right in the middle and hose it all in, and that will fill up all the gaps and give me a very solid base right there. And keep those bricks right where I want to put them. My load of dirt. The big things that are in it. Move it all around. My goal is to fill up all the gaps between the bricks and the dirt, meaning the ground that's there, and make these bricks solid. Just like putting a tree in, getting rid of the air pockets, putting the bricks in, making everything stay solid right where it belongs. I am going to pause for a minute. I'm going to do that one last stretch. I have the bricks here, and that way I can have that stretch also grounded in. So I move the dirt out of the way, because that is a dead end. It's going to dead end over here on a couple big bricks. I can put a building on it. Okay, so now, as you can see right in front, I put the secondary track in. That's where the secondary track's going to go right across there. So now it's just like putting a plant in. Dirt will get under the bricks. So keep the bricks right where they are. Clay will hold everything together. And the train won't move. And there you go. Big curve is done. That's today's project, completing Big Curve. Now when you look at it, you can see why it's called Big Curve. It takes up a lot of space. If you go back, in reference to the whole train, that's the whole side. Big Curve is almost half that big again. And Big Curve is done. Is it gonna work? Should. Won't know until I get done. The next trip is going to be taking that piece of track. You see right there, it starts a big 22-inch diameter curve, then goes out this way, another 22-inch diameter curve, then it does the bottle top, and then it connects to that end. We're going to get all the way to the bottle top. It's a big project, all the way around. And back here. So we'll see how much of that we get done next time. Until then, enjoy your projects, enjoy your hobbies, love what you do. Makes things work, it makes you live. Talk to you later.